Hi, Linda Bertaut again. And I wanted to share a few things that I think are important for those of you that might have lost someone, a loved one, a friend, a relative to suicide, because each person's going to experience it differently. But if you're a highly sensitive and feeling person, more so than a thinking, rational type of person, you're going to take this harder. And I'm definitely one of those feeling people. So I think the first thought or the first thing that comes to your mind is like shock and disbelief. And, followed by, why? Why did they do that? And then also you might get a pang of guilt, like, why didn't I get a hold of them? I thought something might have been wrong, and why didn't I call them? Why wasn't I there for them? That is so common. If you are someone who has lost a mother, a father, a brother, a sister, a child, it tends to be even more dramatic. For me, the first thing that happened was definitely shock. That first night that I found out my mom took her life, after she had told me 3 times that she would be home when I got back, the biggest thing was shock and then betrayal. And I couldn't even think straight. So it wasn't until maybe a day or two later that I really started to grieve and started to cry. It was just, in that shock state first. But you get this sense of betrayal. And why would they do this? Why would they leave me? And there's a number of reasons, but we'll get into that in another video. I just want you to feel validated by the things that happen. And you have to go through your own grieving process. Don't let anybody else tell you, well, you're just taking this on too long. You need to get over it. You need to move on with your life. You have to experience the feelings and get through them. Now, the other things that I have noticed, so we've got the shock, we've got the grief, we've got the betrayal. It's so final. When somebody takes their own life, it is so final. And I think that's the biggest shock of all, because there's no more talking to them, no more telling them how much you love them, what you appreciate about them. There's no way to stop them because it's already done. It's like the rug has been pulled out from under you. And all the things that you might have been thinking that I'm going to get in touch with them, I'm going to support them, whatever it was, those options are gone. And when you know somebody is ill and you have a chance to be with them, to talk with them, tell them how much you love them, tell them all the things that you really appreciated about them, that gives you a chance to complete with that person before they pass. And there's a huge difference between doing that and then having someone just gone all of a sudden. And because I've been speaking about this for so many years, I always have people coming to me and asking me questions and sharing their story. And it's always one of heartbreak, that big why. Now, I know that for myself, I was able to feel my mother after she died. And many of you can still feel them potentially if you have that ability. For some reason, when you have a loved one that passes over, that connection that you have with them energetically can oftentimes be kind of your gateway to experiencing energy on the other side. So I was able to do that with my mother, but of course she was still extremely depressed. And I talk about that in my first video. So go back and watch that if you're interested to hear about that. And eventually, the pain that I experienced from my mother's death led to it being a catalyst for me to heal myself. I felt like I had to do something for her, in her honor, in her name, to make it for both of us, that I chose not to follow her path. And believe me, I was on the fence there for a while. I chose to live and not follow her path. And once I was able to heal myself from depression, then I was able to really start focusing on helping other people. So a lot of times a tragedy severe pain is going to be a catalyst for you doing this work to help others, because nobody wants to feel like this. This is a club nobody wants to belong to. And so if you have experienced it, use it as a way to kind of honor that person, move forward and help others so that they don't follow that same path, and that they don't, their loved ones don't have to go through what you're going through. But it does take time. And I know that for me, there are times that I can talk about it, I'm fine. And then other days, it's just like it happened, the day before, and I'm that little girl again, missing and crying for my mom. So you'll go through different phases like that. I had dreams for the longest time. I had dreams that, because part of me didn't believe that she was really dead. I never saw her, thank goodness. But a part of me thought, no, she's not really dead. She and my dad made some arrangement, and she went away somewhere where I can't find her. So I would have these dreams, and in my dream, my mom would come back and she'd say, oh no, it was all a mistake. It was an accident. I didn't really die. And I'd be so excited because my mom was back. And then I'd go back to watching over her like I did while she was depressed. And there would always be some point where I couldn't be there and I had to go somewhere because I couldn't watch her 24/7. I'd leave to go somewhere and come back and she was gone. I cannot tell you how many times I had that nightmare, and even up to about 10 years ago. So you'll have a number of different things that'll happen. And some of you will have your loved ones visit you in a dream. You might experience them in a dream. And one of the things that you can do for them is to pray for them. Really pray to lift them up in spirit, because when you take your own life, that's not the way to go. If you're depressed, you're going to continue. Your soul will continue with that depression. It takes a while on the other side to heal, if they do. And not everybody agrees with this, but I've experienced it firsthand. So this is what I know to be true. But your prayers can help your loved one on the other side. So consider that too. Okay, write to me, make some comments. Let me know how you're feeling. I'm here to help. Any topics related to this that you'd like me to get into, I'm happy to do that, because I'm going to have a series of videos on this topic. Okay, I love you guys. Mwah. Your life matters to me. Choose to live. Bye for now.